Hey guys, EagleX here, and today I have a MarketWatch video for you guys. I want to kind of go over some of the relevant cards in our meta right now in America in the English format, along with some cards in the Japan format that are going to be seeing more relevance in our format in the sets coming up. First things first though, I think a really good way to gauge how healthy our game is in terms of market pricing is sealed products, and the thing I really love right now is you can get all these booster boxes for sub $80. $70 is kind of like that sweet spot. You'll be finding a lot of boxes at Great Legend, Booster of Omni, and they're all really well priced. If I'm to say like there's a booster box, if you just always have to open a booster box every week, your best bets are probably to get a 1.5 box, because we have lots of good staples in there that continue being staples. Lady Digimon, Davis Milamia being the two really big ones. You have your Demi-Marimon egg, so if you're a purple player, it's a really good thing to look into getting right now. If you're looking at another booster box to open, 1.0 is always a good one. You have lots of staple Tamers in it. I think Battle of Omni also has lots of good stuff in it, as well as lots of the SRs still see play in future formats. So those are the three boxes I would heavily consider if you just have to crack open a booster box. But moving on to our first thing. If you guys don't know, our very first BT6 regional, Dan Vang won with Jesmon, and one of the key cards in Jesmon is the Security +1 Greymon. Sadly, this is a $20 staple. If you plan on playing Jesmon, you definitely need this card. It's not really a card you can substitute that easily, and there's not another great printing. The only other printing was in a Tamer party pack, so that's why we're stuck with this $20 price tag, along with the fact it's exclusive to the red starter. And our reprint for this card won't be for a long time. I don't think Japan even has their reprint of it yet in the Gabubon starter deck. So it'd be a long ways away. If you want to play this deck, you'll have to consider this a good investment, as Jesmon's actually very playable in the upcoming format in BT7 as well, as they get the new Sistermon support as well. So I would heavily consider, if you want to play this deck, just pick them up. It's a heavy price tag, but it's going to be worth the investment if you enjoy this type of play style of an OTK. And to kind of pair with it, Jesmon's, this is the high dollar SR of our set right now. For BT6, $8 is pretty high for super rare. I think if actually just take a look as a whole, if we go to Digimon, I think it will just be the highest SR of BT6, not overall. You got Lilithmon, she's kind of that high dollar SR. Cards, we can go down to super rares, and this is excluding alt arts as well. But if we just take a quick look high to low, got our alt arts of some of these other cards. So let's go ahead and pull up BT6. So we want double diamond, there we go. But if we skip all the alt arts, the most expensive SR is Jesmon, followed by Gabubon, which is barely $2-3, as low as $1, probably with $1 shipping if I had to take a guess here. Yeah, it's $5 shipping, so you gotta take that into account. It's roughly $2. But like, Jesmon is that expensive SR, and another card you kind of need to pair with that deck is the 1.0 Tai Tamer. The alt-art Tamers got bought out this week recently. $30 for the lowest copy. As you can see, the market price being roughly $20, and the lowest listing being above that means that we've had a lot of purchases for this card lately. And that's why it's been on the rise, as this is the max rarity version of that Tamer. So if you're looking for a max rarity of a deck that is definitely tier 1, this is going to be your price tag you have to pay for it, as there's no reprint of this Tamer until that Gabumon starter deck, when Japan, like I said, doesn't even have out yet. So it's going to be a bit until we see a reprint of this Tamer. So if you want to play the deck, you're going to have to suck up and pay that price tag of $10 for a copy of the Tamer, or $11, give take. Moving on though, from red decks, we're going to take a look at some blue staples. Davis Milamia. This Tamer is a 1.5 Tamer. The 1.5 set, if you guys aren't aware, in America was BT1, 2, and 3, split up amongst 1.0 and 1.5 for us in America. They are very large sets, and because of that, rares and uncommons are harder to pull play sets of. I think I opened roughly 3 booster boxes, and I got a playset of Davis's when I bought the booster. So it's just harder to pull. So if there's ever a card that you want to invest in, it's probably going to be from a 1.0, 1.5 format deck. So because of that, that's why Davis is holding a high $10+ price tag, and it's been going up and down here. It's probably going to be pretty steady here until they announce some type of reprint. Davis has no other printing. He's exclusive to 1.5, and he wasn't in the Tamer Party or the Tournament Party Pack Volume 3. Tournament Pack Party thing, that's what it's called. Where we had reprints of all those 1.0 Tamers besides the Red Tamer tie and besides Davis. So I would heavily look into getting a playset of these because I don't really see them going much lower. It's just going to hold that steady price tag for a long time now. Then, like I was saying, Gabubons, they're pretty affordable. If you're looking at building a Tier 1 deck, Gabubon has been the most prominent deck in top 16s, along with the fact that it's probably the most affordable. I'm pretty sure you can build this deck for under like $75, in all honesty. Davis is your expensive card, and the Drawbumons, those are roughly like $5 right now, maybe not even. And that's like the only thing really holding people back from playing this deck, because all the other rares are really affordable, sub $1. But then we'll move over to the third most popular deck in our format right now, Security Control. This and Musketeers and Security Control are pretty popular. They run a similar deck play style concept, except you spam level 6s with the BL Star package. But I just want to point out $16 for an SR, $2 for an uncommon. These are very common to have 4 of. I've not seen any list without 4 Magna Angemon, but I have seen a few running 3 Magnadramon. But this is just going back to the fact, guys, that it's a 1.0 uncommon. Short print set, very large set, so you're not as likely to pull this in the set when you open a booster box of it. That's why it's holding that weird $2-ish price tag for an uncommon. So I'd have a look into maybe picking up some of these, because they could be good in the future. I don't think they really see much play outside Security Control, and I think this is kind of its last format of really being as relevant as it is at the moment. But moving on. So, future formats. Shine Greymon becomes really relevant in Japan. If we want to take a look, he's BT2. So, on Digimon Meta, if you go over, you can actually search how relevant a card is in the upcoming sets. So, out of 393 decks, he takes up 23 of those spots for the BT7, BT8 format with a little bit of EX2. That is a very relevant card, SR from old sets. So that's why if you've been paying attention to his price, it's kind of been moving up, more upside than downside, yeah. So it's just been kind of rising up here. I've been picking up extra copies around the $2 mark and going to be unloading them hopefully closer to a $10 mark. But Shine Greymon is one of those SRs I'd definitely be keeping an eye on if you want to look ahead for future formats. And to compare with Shine Greymon is TK Takaishi Tamer. This is still a 4 of Tamer in those decks. Thankfully, they did have a reprint of the Tamer, so the price should be a little bit more affordable. But I think now is a very good time to pick up your 4 copies of TK if you haven't gotten any yet. It's a small $16 price tag roughly to get a minimum rarity playset. And the box toppers aren't bad at $15 in all honesty. I remember when those were fetching like a $45 price tag in your 1.5 format with Shine Greymon being Tier 1 its first time through. So that's TK. And then something I would definitely look at, there's different variations of Shine Greymon builds. A lot of them like to run the Memory Patamon. A lot of other ones like to run the Tamer Searching Patamon, which was reprinted. If you're looking at just some rares to kind of fill up your cart to get free shipping, this is definitely one I would look into getting. It's roughly 25 cents a copy right now, 15-25 cents. Some builds really like to emphasize 4 copies of this one. If we actually look up that serial code here, you can see it's relevant in a few decks. It's not like super popular, but it's just a really good staple to have for the deck still. So those are Patamons. And now the card I think people are sleeping on, a Gunimon for Ancient Greymon. If we actually hop over back to this Digimon Meta website, and you just look at red decks in general, roughly 400 entries. You'll see 63 are red. And then if you want to see how relevant Ancient Greymon is, we're going to look up the promo P029 for a Gunimon. P029. And if you remember, it's 21 of our decks for red. So roughly a third of them are all Ancient Greymon. And when you run Ancient Greymon, you run 4 Gunimon promos. That is a $6 promo card. That is very low price for promos in this game. I would highly consider you pick up your 4 copies of a Gunimon. Because if you aren't aware, a really cool combo we have coming up with the deck is you have your Gunimon with an analog boy set up. And if you have the optimal rookie, you have the new Flamemon that plays the Tamer. So you promote this Gunimon with this Flamemon. You attack for 2 memory, going into Ancient Greymon. You get 3 checks in, because you get +1 check for every hybrid in his source, so you'd have 2 of them, including his initial check. Then end of turn he dies. Then Analog Boy actually procs when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon is deleted. You suspend this to gain a memory. So if you were at 1, you attacked, you just paid the 2 to go into Ancient Greymon. You suspend this, you go back to 0, you hatch a new egg after Ancient Greymon dies. Then your Tamer was played. And after this is played, it allows you to go into that Emperor Greymon on the same turn that you just did an Ancient Greymon Warp, cleaning out their security. And he has Blitz. So you're going to be cleaning through security really quickly, and top of the fact that we have all this hybrid support. I think it's a deck that a lot of people are sleeping on right now. I have my investment in Ancient Greymons, so I'm ready for this set to come up. But yeah, so we're down to a $6 promo. That is like one of those necessary parts of the deck. I think now's a really good time to be picking these up. They were roughly $4 to $5 last week, and that's the lowest I think we'll ever see this promo go. Yeah, it's showing 5. I remember seeing a few listings at 4, but it wasn't long-lived. Yeah, so Gunimon is that probably sleeper card I would consider picking up. And there's Ancient Greymons. You can see people are getting ready to play this deck. The lowest listing is above the market price, meaning that a lot of people are buying up the supply. This card's been going up in price. Got $5 shipping on this one, $5 shipping on this one. So they're roughly $32 still. And if we look at the chart, you'll see it's kind of been rising. Hit a little bit of a plateau here, but I think we'll probably see it go up to a $35, $45 or secret rare again. Yeah, that's what the alt art is, roughly 45 right now. And I see that going up to maybe 50, 60 bucks. Because people do like their max rarity when they play their games. Next, Alphamon. This is a secret rare that doesn't see a lot of play at the moment. But if you look a little bit further in our meta, you will see this is actually played quite a bit. BT6-111. You look this up here. BT6-111. And you'll see Alphamon's a very relevant card. 22 entries is a pretty high count for this format for decks, because we do have a pretty diverse format again, but these are some of the more popular decks you'll see being played. So definitely pick up your $17 secret rare Alphamons. You're going to be wanting 3 to 4 of these in your decks in the future. And the promo card that pairs with it really well is Norisimo. If you get 13,000 DP, you get an extra, or 13,000 DP or more, you get an extra check. This is how Black gets aggression. They can start pushing more damage, and Alphamon allows you to gain that DP attack if you're attacking with him. I believe the cards that pair with Alphamon are naturally higher in DP, and you get your restands if you have Alphamon in its sources. It's the whole gimmick. So I'd highly advise you to look into getting your Norisimo. I don't know why I went there. And then some cards I want to point out for that randomly had buyouts recently. We had Delicate Plant. It's an uncommon from 1.5. Because it's from 1.5, it's that weird niche printing that is kind of short printed of a large set of a card that you probably got like 2 copies of at most in a booster box. It was $30 at one point this week. After it being like a quarter for the longest time, roughly a quarter, people have been buying it for roughly $2 to $3. It's that whole Jesmon hype, Jesmon fever. If you want to counter security control, this is one of your best counters to it. And if you don't have that, War Greymon's your best one, and this is also recently bought out lately. As you can see, $40+ for an alt art from 1.0. I will say it's a really awesome looking alt art, but with the market price being roughly 24, you can tell someone's been eating up the supply of this card. The lowest listing is way above that market price, so I would definitely give this card a bit to cool down if you want to pick up your alt art. But it's going to be meta relevant for a bit, just because of all these security effects of security control of musketeers. Well, everyone, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed my market watch. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, comment on what you want to see more of, something that you think I might have missed. Love to have a conversation, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Have a happy holidays, everyone, and take care.